For breakfast, I'm having this caramel apple Greek yogurt and a banana. We are going to try this queso. I'll put like a picture of it. This is that new plant-based, I think it's new. I've never seen it before. I got it at Fred Meyer, which is Kroger. It's their Simple Truth brand. But anyways, it's like cauliflower based. It has almond butter, almonds, I think. That's good. It's completely plant-based. Highly recommend. Let me show you something. Tell me if you all like this. I have coffee. I have my water, which is all gone. I need to fill up. I have my cranberry juice that I'm drinking. And then I have a Diet Pepsi. How y'all like that? Do you have like a ton of drinks all the time at like your area? Yeah, I do. Always have. Okay, I'm gonna eat this. It's 11 o'clock, but I start getting really hungry, probably because I just had that yogurt and banana today. So, wasn't hungry this morning. Should have known that was going to change. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, and then I will show you my lunch. I am having a chicken salad Caesar for lunch, so I have some romaine lettuce, some avocado, some croutons, some chicken with the Bolthouse Caesar dressing, and I also have a little bit of Parmesan cheese on this. For dinner, I'm making a lightened version of a broccoli cheese soup. So in my pan here, I have some onion, celery, carrots, and some garlic. I also have 2 tablespoons of, I can't believe it's not butter light in there. And I'm also going to add in some salt and pepper. So I'm just going to saute this up until it is nice and tender, till like the onions are translucent and the celery and the carrots are starting to get tender. Now I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of flour. And then next up, I'm going to add in 3 cups of this vegetable broth. I love, love, love this vegetable broth from Imagine Organic. So good. Look how dark that is. It is so amazing. So love this stuff. Then I'm going to be adding in 1 cup of creamy cashew milk and a 1/4 cup of fat-free half and half, just to add a little bit of creaminess to this. And we're just going to add that in and give it a good stir. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil and just kind of let it simmer to kind of get all those flavors. Now you want to keep adjusting your salt and pepper just to make sure that it has enough in there, because I had to add in quite a bit of salt. Once that comes to a boil and it starts to thicken up just a little bit from that flour, then I'm going to add in a whole head of broccoli. So I had like a large head of broccoli. I'm going to add that in there. I chopped it all up. Again, we're going to bring this to a boil. Then we're going to put the lid on it and let it simmer for about 15 minutes until that broccoli is nice and tender. And then we're going to add on some cheese. So I have some of this reduced fat, sharp cheddar cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want or leave the cheese out, whatever you like to do. But I did 1 cup of the reduced fat, sharp cheddar cheese. And that is the final product. I just let it kind of simmer just a little bit. I was going to pair this with a sandwich, but I was not very hungry. So I just had the soup. I had just a little bit more cheese on top. And that was my dinner. Good morning, happy Thursday. As you guys can tell, I'm having 2 days in this video. I didn't really close up yesterday, so I thought I'll just run it and it'll be a little bit longer video. I have to head out here in a few minutes. But first, let me tell you what happened. So I am so annoyed with my doctor's office. It happens all the time. I called a few weeks ago and asked them if he had put in any blood work yet, because this is for my physical and also for my thyroid. This is like my yearly, like when I go in for my thyroid and my physical, and he usually runs cholesterol, complete blood count, and then my thyroid panel. So I called a few weeks ago and asked if any blood work had been put in. But first, let me tell you one thing. Things have been really like just wonky with my doctor's office. They were taken over. I don't know how it works with doctor's offices, or they bought out. I have no idea, but they're under a different like umbrella now, and it's like a well-known thing in our area. But I thought it was mostly mental health, but I didn't know they dealt with like primary care also. But anyway, so they were taken over by them. So for one thing, when you call, it's like you can't go on the website anymore to look up anything. When you try to call, it's the same number, but it's routed to this new place. I don't know. It's just not as like easy as it used to be. They keep switching like where the doctors are at, because they have several buildings, and it's not in the town I live in. It's a town like kind of over a little bit, closer to where I used to live. And they keep moving him to different buildings, which you can't just like walk to. They're like, you have to drive to different buildings. And so I'm hoping he's in the same building that he was in September when my original appointment was, and then it got moved to today. So it's just been rather annoying. So I called a few weeks ago and I said, I haven't heard anything about any blood work yet. And she said, well, let me check on that. And that was when they called actually to reschedule my appointment is when that was. So I called again like last week and she said, let me check with him. And then I never heard back. Well, then yesterday, one of the ladies calls me during lunchtime and she said, did you get your blood work done for your appointment tomorrow? And I said, well, no one had told me anything about any blood work. So I thought maybe he didn't order any for some reason. I told her, I said, honestly, I had forgotten about it because I called last week and it wasn't in yet. And so she looked, she goes, oh, well, it looks like they just put it in today. So I'm like thinking, okay, so then obviously no, I did not get my blood work done because I didn't know it had been ordered and nobody had told me and it had just been done. So she's like, well, do you want to reschedule your appointment again or can you get the blood work done? And I said, oh, I can go get it done. I said, is it the kind of blood work I can just get done when I get off work today? And then it'll be ready by tomorrow. She said, oh yeah, no problem. But then she said that the lab in their doctor's office has been closed down because the labs in the doctor's offices are from like the local hospital and they're super short-handed and they've closed pretty much all the labs in the different doctor's offices, but they have like draw sites that you can go to, like outpatient labs, which is fine because it's closer to my house anyway, to where I live now. So after work, I headed right over there, get in there and she goes, are you fasted? And I said, no. She goes, oh, well, all the blood work is requiring you to be fasted. Like, I think this has happened before, but I asked her specifically on the phone, you know, is there any kind of special blood work? Can I just go get it after work? I wish she would have told me it had been fasted. So she's like, well, just come in first thing in the morning. We open up at 6. And I'm like, well, she goes, if you tell them that you have an appointment that day, then they'll rush it and it should be done by the time you go to your doctor's appointment. And I said, okay, well, can I come in like at 7? And she said, instead of having to be there at 6 when they open, she goes, oh yeah, no problem. But then I remembered last night, so I'm going to take off because it's 5:56 right now. So I'm going to go. But I remember last night I have an orientation right at 8 o'clock this morning for work. So I don't want to risk going there because it would have been fine if I would have been a little late. I would just use some personal leave if I was late getting back. But I have to be like online ready for our virtual orientation, which means I have to have my computer up and running. I have to make sure the system's working, make sure my video camera's working, all of that stuff, that, you know, that tech stuff. So I need to be able to log in by 7:30 to make sure everything's working correctly and to get all my, you know, documents together and all that. So long story short, 4-minute story. I am going to leave right now to head over to the draw site and get that done so I can make sure I get back in plenty of time. I will give you guys an update. I am not anticipating a very good, I don't know, I just have a feeling that my blood work is not going to look very good, which I am going to be really upset about because it's been really good the last couple of years. So I don't know, but maybe this is the kick in the pants that I need. I don't know. I will let you guys know as soon as I get the blood work, and after my doctor's appointment, I'll give you guys a full update tonight, and hopefully we have some good news. But you know, sometimes we just need something to get us going and motivated. Maybe this is the motivation I need. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna head out and then I will chat with you guys later. I swear, I think something is telling me, like, am I not supposed to get these done today? But luckily it worked out. So I get in here and she's like, well, we have a bit of a predicament. Our computer system is down, so we can't pull orders, we can't make labels, we can't do anything. She's like, do you happen to know what they ordered? And I said, well, actually I do, because I was just here last night and she told me exactly what they ordered. So she did it, but she said there's no guarantee that my stuff will be ready by the time I go to my doctor's appointment, depending on how long their system is down. She's pretty sure the system will not be down all day because usually they get onto that kind of thing pretty quickly, but that may be a thing. But my doctor will just have to call me with the results, or if he has any concerns or whatever. That'll just, I mean, things happen. So it's 6:25 when I head home, and I'm not really hungry. I haven't eaten since 6 o'clock yesterday because I knew I wanted to fast for at least 12 hours before getting it done. So I'm gonna make some coffee though, for sure, because I need my coffee. I usually have at least 1 cup of coffee by now. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and then I will chat with you guys when I do eat something. Hey guys, so it's the end of the night. I am, let's see, it's 9:27. My goal is to get into bed by 10, so we'll see if that happens. I want to at least get my video edited, and then if I don't have time to export it, that's fine. I can do the exporting in the morning, do the uploading while I'm getting ready for work. But I want to get all the editing done and the voiceovers done. So I should be able to do that by 10 o'clock. But I want to give you guys a little update on my doctor's appointment. So I think last I talked to you, I was actually at the blood draw place. I did not record my food or anything today. It's just been such a hectic day. I actually only took a 30-minute lunch because I knew I was leaving early for my doctor's appointment. I was helping my boss work on a grant. So I just figured I'd just take a half-hour lunch. I'm at home anyway, and I wasn't really hungry. I've been feeling so anxious about my doctor's appointment that I just have not been hungry. For dinner, I made a quesadilla. I just took some of the rotisserie chicken, the Tyson rotisserie chicken, and made myself a quesadilla with some reduced fat cheese and the tomorrow wrap. That was my dinner. I'm still just not very hungry. I've been extremely thirsty today, really thirsty. So definitely getting my water in. Okay, let's talk about my doctor's appointment. I was a little nervous to go because I have not lost any weight since I saw him last. That wasn't a concern, really a concern for him last time. It was more my concern, where I told him that I had a goal to lose weight since the last time. I'm like 5 pounds down since the last appointment. And my last appointment was actually on my birthday last year. So it was October 15th last year. So it's almost exactly a year. He always runs my thyroid. My thyroid has been in a good place for the last couple of years. So he's just been checking it once a year. Now, if I ever had any concerns or anything, he would have me check it, but I haven't had any concerns up until the last few months. And I actually didn't even think about it being related to my thyroid. I've just been attributing all of the symptoms I've been having mainly to like stress and just being, just feeling very anxious at work and anxious about, my husband's new job and just all the stuff going on. Actually, this whole year, has just been so crazy at home that I just attributed a lot of these things that I was feeling to mainly just that. So it's been in such a good place. He hasn't had to change my medication for I think it's been almost 3 years now that he's had to make any adjustments to it. So anyway, that was one of the labs he ran. He always runs a CBC and then a Metabolical Panel, I think is what it's called. I was going to try to pull up my chart, but it is not wanting to load. So I do remember though, and then a cholesterol lipid panel. That's also what else he runs. So let's first talk about the regular, the CBC panel was really good, except for there's 2 things that were, one was a high and one was a low. And that's what I was going to try to look up. I don't remember what they were, but he says it could be attributed to low vitamin B12. He said it's like iron or vitamin B12. But he said my iron actually looked really good on my other things. So he thinks it's maybe just a low in the B12, which is easily fixed by taking B12. We have B12 here because my husband's doctor actually also has him take it. So that's easy fix. I can take that. The Metabolical Panel showed all really good. Everything on that was great. That's for your liver function, your kidney function, all of that was great. He's very happy with all that. Nothing showed up bad at all. He ran a diabetes screening. My glucose was really good. I think it was 82 or something. And I did all this stuff fasted, by the way, because that's why I had to be there 6 o'clock this morning. So my diabetes screening came back great. No worries on that. So that's great. Now let's talk about my cholesterol and my thyroid. First, my cholesterol. It's my good cholesterol is really, actually all my cholesterol levels are perfect. He says they're right where he wants them to be, except for my LDL, which is your bad cholesterol. And it should only be a high, like the higher scale of that. So like it shows like a range, and he likes to see it around 100 to 110 is where he likes to see it, like at the high side. If you're going to be on the high side, he doesn't want to see it over around 110, and mine was 112. So he said he's not like super concerned about it. He said literally I could easily change that by just, he said the LDL are things like you can change it really easily by just adding exercise or eating like almonds or walnuts. He really suggested walnuts. Actually, that was like his main suggestion was walnuts. He says at my age that you tend to sometimes see the cholesterol at the higher side. So for my age, he said he would love to see it at 110 or below, between 100 to 110, and it's at 112. So he's not like super concerned about it. He thinks though that if I do add in some of the more healthy nuts, and I really haven't eaten a lot of nuts in a long time. So he said just add in some healthy nuts and then pump up the exercise, and he thinks that number will be down when we run it again. Now my thyroid, oh, there was one other thing too, but my thyroid was really high. So the last time I went in, again, almost exactly a year ago, it was like 3 something, which he likes to see it at like 1.5 to 2.5. And it was like right at 3 last year, but I was feeling okay. And he always asked me like, how are you feeling though with what your number is? So it's not as always about the numbers for him. It's also about how are you feeling? I was feeling great last year. So I didn't, he didn't have really any concern about it at that 3. It was like 3.0 something. But he likes to see, rather see it like at 1 point, I think he said 1.9 to 2.5 is what he said he likes to see it at. Mine was like 6.284, I want to say. I could have had those numbers transposed. It could be 6.824. I know it was 6 point something. So it's doubled in the last year. So he asked me like, and they have you fill out this questionnaire. And on the questionnaire, I filled out that, I have had no energy and no motivation. And this actually mainly is a questionnaire for somebody who may be like experiencing depression and suicide thoughts. That's what they have you fill that out every time you go in. So I'm just filling it out like, just how I'm feeling. And, I have trouble falling asleep. I have trouble staying asleep, but I'm still super tired, but I still can't fall asleep. I have zero energy, zero motivation to do anything. My hair has been like really falling out. I've been so irritable, so moody. But again, I attributed a lot of that to stress and just, that's just what I thought it was. But now I know there's my thyroid. So he said we could do, a couple different things. He said that normally if I wasn't exhibiting any symptoms, he would wait 6 weeks and then run the test again without doing anything. But because I've been experiencing so many symptoms, that he said that he was going to go ahead and up my medication. So I said, up my medication. I'm going to go pick it up tomorrow. And he says he wants me to take that for 6 weeks. Then he'll run the test again. Now, the other issue that he saw was that my blood pressure is pretty high. It was on the higher side last year, but not high enough for him to really be concerned. But this time it was high. They checked it 3 times while I was in the office. And he is a little concerned about it. So he wants me to get like a home, blood pressure thing, which my husband reminded me that we had when I got one at one of our health fairs at work. So I'm going to try that if it looks like how it's working. If it's working okay. If not, then I'm going to use my HSA that I have at work and purchase one, because he wants me to take readings over the next 3 months. And because he said it could be anything. It could be because I'm not sleeping. That can make your blood pressure go up. It could just be like just today for some reason. Today, it's higher. But he also said when he saw that cholesterol a little bit high and my weight has not changed, and he asked about my activity, and I said, yeah, it hasn't been the best. I've been trying to do my bike and all of that. He said, well, let's try this. He goes, okay, let's make an appointment for February. He goes, I want you to do your readings over the next 3 months. Do it like twice a day for 3 months. Just track your readings. That way we can, track them, and I can see what kind of pattern there is, get a really good baseline for your blood pressure. And then he goes, let's make a goal of losing 10 pounds. And he's like, do you think that's attainable? That's about a half a pound a week. And I'm thinking, yeah, that I should be able to do 10 pounds in 3 months. There's no reason why I shouldn't. And especially if it's something that could be harming my health right now, then I definitely feel like I need to do it. So that is the goal he gave me, to lose 10 pounds by February, for our February appointment. My appointment's on February 9th. And then he's hoping that will possibly make my blood pressure go down, and maybe even make an effect on that cholesterol reading. And then he said, we're going to run my thyroid in 6 weeks, and then check and see what it is, and then run it again at 3 months. And then we'll go in and check my blood pressure and all that. So that is the update. Not the best. I mean, I would have hoped, of course, for a little bit better news, but it could be a lot worse. I mean, all my other vitals and stuff were fine. All my other, I have also been getting a swelling like on the top of my foot. And he said that also could be attributed to weight, to the high blood pressure, and even possibly to my thyroid. So he's hoping that that will go away. It's only just on the top of my left foot. It's super weird. And I can just see it. Like, it's just a little bit like, it's almost like just fluid retention on the top of my foot. So he wants to check that out again in 3 months too, after we try to hit these goals that we made for me. So yeah, I think this is exactly like what I needed. I needed to have this little like kick in the butt to like, okay, let's do this. The holidays are coming, but we're not going to, use that as an excuse. We don't do much around the Christmas time. So for me, it's not like, oh, I can't get through, all these like holiday parties and all. We don't have any of that stuff going on. So Thanksgiving is the one and only like thing we have coming up that is even like going to be like any kind of barrier. And I'm not going to let it be a barrier. It's just one day, and I'm just going to make it one day where I'm enjoying my family, enjoying my meal. But other than that, we're just going to kick things back in gear. I told myself I'm going to make my goal. My goal lately has been 20 minutes on the bike in the morning and 20 minutes on the bike in the evening. I haven't always been doing the morning as well as I should be. Like today I didn't get it done because I had to be at the blood draw place so early. If I wake up too late, I don't have time. I mean, the morning time I have limited because I have to go to work, but there's no excuse for the evening. So I think I'm going to keep my 20 minutes in the morning, but increase my evening to at least 30 minutes, if not more. And then also increase the intensity on the bike. So that is my goal. He said, make sure I continue drinking water. It's funny, he's made comments about changing out like 1 or 2 things, but he's like, get rid of the sodas. I don't drink soda. Get rid of, like, he said, like pizza, like Pop-Tarts. I don't eat Pop-Tarts. Donuts. I don't eat donuts. I mean, those are all things that I watch my husband eat all the time, but I hate Pop-Tarts. They're like nasty. So it's funny he brought up something like Pop-Tarts, because I'm like, I would never eat a Pop-Tart. I hate Pop-Tarts. I cannot stand them. But, just things like that. He's like, don't use mayo. I typically only use mustard anyway. So it's like, I told him, I'm like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things, but the problem is I'm only doing all the right things like Sunday through Thursday. And then Friday and Saturday, it's like, he goes, but that's fine. If you are really doing all the right things, then he goes, that's fine to have a couple of days a week where you're not doing everything just great. He goes, so that's why I think the exercise is going to be the key to this. It is so important to have a doctor that you like and that you trust. And here's the thing with my doctor's office. Like, I think I said something about this earlier this week. My insurance has switched over to this coordinated care insurance, this PCP 360 thing. And my doctor's office does not, it's not part of that, because I think they have to go through all this stuff. I mean, if only like 85 doctors out of 560 doctors that take my insurance are part of this new network, which has actually been around for like 3 years now. It's just crazy making that many doctors have not signed on to it. So I feel like there's like a lot of like hoops and stuff to jump through, but I don't care. Like, I have a doctor that I trust, that knows me, that is working with me, that gives me choices, that cares about what I want versus just trying to tell me this is what you need to do. He's not cold. He's warm. He's inviting. I don't care how much I have to pay. And I don't care if I have to pay full price and that my insurance isn't covering all of it. I don't care about that. To me, it's so important to have a doctor that you trust. And it took me a long time to find this doctor, but now I've had him for like I think like 5 years now, and it is the best thing that I did. Like, it is the best thing that I did when I changed doctors, and I could not be happier. So highly, highly recommend, if you're not happy with your doctor, find a new one. It is so important to have a doctor that cares about you and your health and cares about what you think and your opinions. But I am very proud of myself, because when I do see, you know, like I said, the diabetes screening and the cholesterol in general, the fact that he was just so happy with all of the numbers makes me feel like that I'm definitely heading in the right direction. I'm doing the right things. I just need to do more, and I need to do it better, and the exercise, and maybe if my thyroid gets, you know, it starts getting better, that'll make me, that'll probably help with the weight loss a little bit too. That could be one of the reasons why the weight's not coming off. So I'm just going to do the best I can. But yes, I am feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty motivated. I think I'll feel more motivated when I get on my medication. Right now, I'm just so beat all the time, but now I know why. Like, now I know it's less the emotional thing, and it really is a physical thing that's causing me to feel this way, which makes me feel better mentally, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like knowing it's a physical thing makes me feel a little bit better in my head. And I'm feeling like mindset wise, I'm feeling a lot better now. Because I think before I was thinking that I was feeling so bad and down about myself because I felt like I was failing. And I talked about that the other day. But now I realize there was a physical reason with the way I was feeling, and that makes me feel a little bit better. So anyhow, go to your doctor, you guys. Go every year. I go every year to get my physical. It's free for most insurances. Do pay for your physicals for free because it's preventative medicine. Highly recommend it. The CBC panel is free because it's considered preventative. The lipid is free because it's considered preventative. Just do it, you guys. It's worth it to get it done. It's worth it to know what you are facing and what you need to do. And plus, you know, like I said, there's so many positives in it that now it just makes me feel really proud of myself for what I have done over these last like 5-6 years that I have been trying to turn my life around from when I was 300 pounds. And, you know, even though I've been stuck at where I'm at right now, I still need to be proud of, you know, the weight that I have lost and the, you know, progress I have made. And my numbers definitely show that from where I started. So highly recommend that. I just really think it's really important to do that. Okay, I am going to sign off for now because now I've talked so much. I have 15 minutes till my goal bedtime. Probably not going to happen. But tomorrow's Friday, so it's all good. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.